The Hyatt Regency Hotel in downtown Dallas has been a staple for several decades. Hurricane Florence officially making landfall 45 minutes ago, the storm battering the Carolina coast. Amalie has hired Austin-based architect Paige Sutherland Page to design the new $150 million tower. I've always thought about wearing wings. I just don't know if I can come off as an angel. Some major hotels across the country are offering a new spin on the traditional concierge with dogs. Remember the funky white sister who went viral last month for her show-stopping karaoke number? Well, that was Mary Halsey. Her version of Missy Elliott's Work It was so great, it caught the attention of the rapper herself. Geiger told investigators that she believes she entered her own apartment, which was located on the 3rd floor of Southside Flats. And oh yeah, that's definitely me. I think now I'm ready for Dallas Pride. Expect to see some familiar faces in Mayor Mike Rawlings and gubernatorial candidate Lupe Valdez, who'll be out to show their support of the LGBT community. In North Texas, in an unassuming city called Addison, sits an equally unassuming place to visit, the Cavanaugh Flight Museum, with a collection of aircraft from both World Wars, the Korean War, and Vietnam. That's the newest acquisition, the iconic UH-IH Iroquois, better known as the Huey. Probably made most famous in various Vietnam movies, including Platoon and the 2002 We Were Soldiers. And yes, it's flying. The Cavanaugh is one of the few museums that actually shows and flies its aircraft.
It's a way to keep the airplanes going, and it's a way for people to be able to see them and hear them and smell them.
Many brave young men flew in this chopper. Men like Del Curry.
I usually sat back here on the gunner side, on the crew chief side. That right here's where they had the gun mounts come up, and them 60. Well, there's a picture of one right there.
Not only did Dale fly this type of chopper,
And I was a Spec 5 in Vietnam in 68, 69, and I was assigned to the 117th Assault Helicopter Company.
he actually served in the company this exact helicopter is from.
It's been 50 years since I sat in one. It was 50 years ago when I was there.
Museum director Doug Jeans told me, for some veterans, seeing the aircraft they used to serve in for the first time in years can be an emotional and therapeutic experience.
And a lot of times it's kind of it's an emotional high-low or whatever for them, but then I think they've gained something from it. They're able to kind of release some of the, things they've kept inside and not wanted to get out, and it kind of gives them an avenue to break out and talk about things that they didn't talk about before. But I've seen it happen several times, and it is emotional. I mean, I've sat there and cried with veterans before when they talk about, tell a story and the families and all. It's a very emotional, very moving experience.
Even for Dale.
Got a heavy heart and a lot of memories.
Reporting for the Morning Dose, Brian Kennedy, Dallas.
John McCain was a kind of person who emphasized telling the truth. So I think John McCain exemplified the finest in naval service and service for our country in the military, and also in government.
But that's not the opinion shared by the current sitting president. President Donald Trump initially released a tweet over the weekend on Senator McCain's passing. Only after receiving pressure from veterans groups did he issue a presidential proclamation that called for the lowering of all flags to half-staff Monday afternoon.
President Trump made a serious mistake at the beginning, but I think eventually the statement that he issued and his decision about the flag has been okay.
In Senator McCain's final letter to the American people, he emphasized that while we are 325 million opinionated people who often argue, we, quote, have always had so much more in common with others than in disagreement. President Carter also believes that the polarization in the current political climate is affecting the housing crisis, a cause he has dedicated much of his life to solving.
We've reached a low point even before the 2016 election in the disparity that exists between rich and poor people in our country. The need for low-income housing is part of that. And also the polarization between Democrats and Republicans has become much greater than it was before. Primarily this has been caused by the stupid decision that the Supreme Court made on Citizens United.
Habitat for Humanity has built nearly 13 million houses worldwide in the 35 years since President Carter and his wife have been involved, making a home ready to move in every 50 seconds of the day. As to correcting the attitudes in Washington,
I hope that in the future we'll correct our mistake, which the United States always seems to be able to do, is to correct serious mistakes, even though sometimes it takes longer than we want.
reporting for Morning Dose, Brian Kennedy, Dallas. Some have called it a mental health epidemic plaguing the youth of our country. The constant checking of social media and teens preferring texting over face-to-face communication. But a new poll released this week finds that these same teens say that social media helps them feel more confident, less lonely, and less depressed. A California-based nonprofit group focused on teen use of media and technology found that 89% of teens now have their own smartphones. That's up from 41% in 2012. A third of teens said social media makes them feel less depressed. The majority of teens say social media made no difference in how depressed they feel. Snapchat is the most popular social media app, followed by Instagram, and more than half said their parents worry too much about social media. The study surveyed over 1,100 teens between 13 and 17 years old. For the past 26 years, Kids has strived to make a difference in families who are dealing with life-altering conditions. What started in 1991 with a trip to SeaWorld in San Antonio, Texas, has grown into impacting over 1,000 kids and their families on a trip to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida.
It was amazing because we got to do something we'll probably never be able to do on our own.
The organization partners with volunteers, donors, and medical professionals, along with listeners of the Kidcratic Morning Radio Show, to embrace this mission. Kids provides an all-expense-paid trip to approximately 50 kids and their families each year.
It's extremely difficult to put into words what it really meant to us as a family, because we got a trip of a lifetime. We got away from doctors and appointments, we got away from the illness, and we came back with a family.
To me, it helps kids get out of their comfort zone and not feel like they can't do anything just because of the condition or whatever they have.
The reunion at Crayola brought families back together to reconnect with those they met on their trip and to relive the impact that the organization had made on these families.
I love it for my brother, I love it for my family, and I love it for everyone who's going because they deserve it.
Reporting for Morning Dose, I'm Brian Kennedy.
This is American Idol!
The nationwide search for the next American Idol kicked off in late August with several stops around the country as hopefuls braved early mornings and inclement weather.
We left at 4 and got here at 5.
2:50 a.m.
About 6 o'clock I arrived here, and it's a pretty long line, but not too long.
Contestants in Plano, Texas filled McCall Plaza with hopes of being the next American Idol.
There's a fire starting in my heart.
Train a-coming, it's rolling down the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when.
Keep careful watch of my brother's souls, and should the sky be filled with fire and smoke.
Feeling that I'm going under, but I know that I'll make it out alive. I wanna tear down the walls, hold me inside.
Styles range from original music to pop culture classics, including a viral kids song that's making the rounds.
Baby shark doo doo doo.
Everybody.
Baby shark doo 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 doo. Mama shark doo 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 doo. Mama shark doo 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 doo.
I'm just here to have fun. Just here to enjoy it, see what happens. You never know.
Reporting for Morning Dose, I'm Brian Kennedy.